Welcome, welcome, welcome. We got game two, Dekzeh versus Undisputed. If you haven't watched game one, please go back and do so, or don't. I'm not your supervisor. I have no legal authority over you. So if you just want to watch game two first, that's the way you live your life. That's fine. Anyway, spoiler alert if you're one of those select few. Uh, Undisputed won game one in kind of a little bit of a role. Obviously, I discussed at the end why I think it was a little closer than it appeared on its face. But anyway, let's just jump right into game two, see how this plays out. Obviously, Dekzeh with the Venusaur this time. I got called out for calling Venusaur weird. It is and isn't. You don't see it a ton. I think UD kind of pushed its popularity when he came back because for some reason he's always been the biggest Venusaur fan in the world. I know he back when we played together, I used to rip his one set, which had the weirdest EV spread of all time. I never understood it. For me, if something is more complicated than hitting a certain speed tier, whether that be 252 or like in Celebi's case, you want to hit Moltres speed, and then just dump the rest of the EVs in the attack you're using and the rest in HP. If you're more complicated than that, then I don't see the point of using you. And it's half the reason I don't use Snorlax. I just don't understand why something would need to be EV'd like that. It just doesn't sit well with my brain. But anyway, Dekzeh leading off with just another sleeper. It should be faster than the T-Tar. I know lead T-Tars have been running a little fast, but Venusaur can outspeed it, so it should. I wonder if that means you want to push the Venusaur up to 245 or whatever you need to hit, which does coincidentally, lose a good amount of its bulk, which makes it good. So maybe you just sit at 223 and hope that, the lead T-Tar isn't running, plus speed hasty or something like that, mixed. But even still, the Fire Blast or Ice Beam or whatever special move it has decided to use shouldn't kill you. So you're going to be severely weakened, but at least you get the sleep off. Maybe you can Giga Drain, get a Leech Seed in, get some recovery back. HP Fire, Skarmory as you heal up. So let's see what happens here. He'll definitely just lead Sleep Powder. Hits it, no problem, easy, and it's a Lum, which obviously I didn't go over, but that is a option when you're seeing lead T-Tar, is that it's going to be Lum these days, and obviously that's what it was here. So it gets to shake off the powder. He'll drop another one, which he does hit. It's a risky to, if that's a possibility, to have to hit two Sleep Powders in a row. It can be a tall ask, but anyway, he'll probably seed here, try to catch whatever's going to come in to deal with the Venusaur, which is in fact a Skarmory. Undisputed looking a little more standard than I would have expected, and he just goes Razor Leaf, which is a very, very interesting move there. I don't think there's any world in which I would have predicted a Razor Leaf coming out that turn, but maybe that's just because I'm not ahead of the game like Dekzeh is. And he does just go for the seed and misses, which is unfortunate. But he hit two powders in a row, so luck is cumulative. We all know that. That's how stats work. That Leech Seed was coded at 40%, and you can't tell me otherwise. And he does have the HP Fire, but it's doing nothing. So this could be a bit rough, missing the seed, and then the Fire does nothing. Then he gets Drill Pecked with a layer up. The Skarmory's going to be at 75%. The T-Tar's at 100, but is asleep. And here's the Zard. You love to see it. Oh, is this a full starter team? he's got Blastoise in the back. In a world where he brought Golduck last game, it is not fully outside the realm of possibility that Dekzeh is going with a starter squad. Let's see, he tosses the blast out. That should chunk. It does. 35%. And obviously, for this set of series, I think we have to suspend the Salaman's theorem or at least add an addendum that the other team must be good. No, I'm just kidding. Dekzeh's team, I'm sure, is fantastic. And Undy brings Blissey again. Skarmbliss with another Mence. He's shown his hand in this team building. I guess we'll see if this is something he kind of sticks throughout the tournament. I do recall him back when we played relying a bit on the Skarmbliss core. Kind of a defensive core with a kind of a few offensive threats, which is used to be my preferred way of team building before my brain couldn't handle turns where I did nothing anymore, so I kind of swapped to full offense. But that's how I used to like to play it. I think that's one of the more consistent play styles is kind of I used to call it semi-stall, but it's the dumbest name in the world. It's just balanced. With kind of two ends, you got a little bulky offense. Your offensive threats don't mind switching into something, as you saw the Mence, switching into a fire blast, and then the back of the core. I guess I should discuss what's going on, but it's nothing crazy. You got the Lax cursing up, and it's about to get roared out. I don't even understand that series of events, but I think this is just a sign that kind of maybe Dekzeh brought some teams that couldn't handle this defensive core, and so he's just kind of throwing shit against the wall. His best bet is to get Zard in some more, and hopefully it has focus punch and it can catch something like can catch the Bliss, and then it can put up some work. Undisputed will be hesitant to switch the Mence in on the next Fire Blast because then it can't switch in again. And it's just gonna get roared out again. Dex is probably hoping this brings in the Zard, and then he can try and line up the focus punch. Nope, it just brings out the Lax. This is not going well with for Dekzeh. The 3 layers are up. He's gonna struggle to break through the Skarm. He's essentially at this point just hoping that a roar brings out Zard. Skarm is just going for drill packs. Oh, he does boom on the Skarm, so that's good for him. We'll see if he just goes Zard here. If I'm Undy, I just go right to Mence to make sure that he can safely bring the Zard in. And Dekzeh on the back end plays that well because he knows that Zard is the better switch in for most of the team, but Undisputed likely to go Salamence there. Kind of next level thinking by Dekzeh. Who knows if it'll be enough to bring it back, especially since it's hard to win a game from that position where you can't bring in your best threat and you need to essentially counter what they're going to bring in. He gets the rest in. I forget if we've seen it's CM, so we don't know if it's 2 attacks or Krakoon or whatever. We'll see what Undisputed does here. He's just gonna stay in and declaw down. That's gonna be a rough way if this is Krakoon. He's gonna need to crit the break if the Calm Minds start coming up early. No, he just hits a Surf. But that's fine. He can do that twice. Rest. I would not be surprised if Undy full swaps on the next rest turn. So he'll declaw one more time here, or HP Grass. That works too. Similar damage output. Although interesting, he didn't do that first because it looks like with those rolls you could be looking at just like a straight 3-hit kill. Anyway. I would expect him to swap out now on the rest turn. If he doesn't have a proper way to deal with the Suicune, then you're likely to just see him fish with HP grasses. Oh no, he just kept Dragonclawing. So that signals to me maybe he doesn't have the best answer, or he just expected it. Because like I said, if washed up me is saying something like that, then you know that a better player like Dekzeh is prepared for that. So maybe he just went to push. Kind of felt there was no need to switch out on the rest turn. Or, was willing to go one more cycle down. Or just does not have a Krakoon answer and is just open to luck through it. Anyway, Dekzeh is trying to force through with the Charizard now, and gets crit by Ice Beam. So there goes that. I mean, does he have any option besides force the Krakoon? I guess we'll see what he has in the back. Heracross. If Mopcross, then that's not gonna put in much work. He would sub here and then just Rock Slide, or he just Rock Slides off the bat, knowing that the Mence is gonna come in. This is tough. This is real tough. Yeah, I don't like that sub there because it puts you at such an awkward position with lefties and all that good stuff. Oh, he subbed again. Yeah, because you only get the one attack. I don't understand this line of play. I don't think that was correct. Or no, you get two. You get 2 attacks at -1. So yeah, eat the rocks. And I guess I wonder if Mega Horn would kill. That's something you have to calc out. Yeah, you're not even killing this Metagross. Yeah, I guess you just stay in if you're undisputed. And he has protect, so even better. Yeah, that line by Dekzeh was not. Oh, Sunny Day, amazing. Does that mean he has like sword stance too? Because that would be all. That is actually awesome. I have seen that recently, so I should not have ruled it out of the realm of possibility. Obviously, with T-Tar still alive, Dex is like, okay, I'll just throw it, and then he misses. I don't think it would have made much difference. Sleeping Tar, dead Tyranitar at that point. Who really cares? Honestly, it might have been better for Undisputed if he hit, so he could have just went to Mance. And just killed that Suicune because he's gonna rest here. And then so Undisputed is going to am I wrong on the rest turns? I might be wrong on the rest turns. I don't know. Oh, it might be that weird mechanic that I never fully adjusted to. Anyway, so that means this is just done. And I'm assuming his last is gonna be he's just gonna boom on whatever comes in. Which is a Dugtrio, which we haven't seen. I don't think I've ever seen a game where it was Dugtrio last. Like where the Dugtrio doesn't come out till the game's over. Especially since he had some Dougieable stuff. He would have, I guess, there's no real time to Dougie the Blissey and nothing else. The T-Tar's asleep. I don't know. That's funny. I've just never seen that. I guess the theory is, catch it, then you Sunny Day, and then you don't have to worry about him doing exactly what he did. Either way, Dekzeh gets rolled over. This one, there were no turns. I think I could pinpoint as losing the game. Ones where we saw branching paths. I think that Undisputed just kind of had this one from the early turns. I think it was a good team matchup for him. Dekzeh, went with the Mopcross, Zard, Dougie offense, and Undisputed's team just did not care about the type of offense. That's one of the few times it is nice to have Mence is when you're going to see a Mopcross. That's probably that's an addendum I'll add. The loser. The user of Mence is the loser, unless your opponent has Mopcross. Then you're in pretty good shape. if you keep the men's healthy. So Undisputed really loving that mixed men's. So he moves on to the second round of the winners bracket. We'll see if he keeps bringing that mixed men's out, or if this was just a matchup call. Like he poured through the data. He studied the numbers and he saw, oh no, my opponent cannot handle the fearsome mixed Salamence, so I'll bring it every game. We'll see if that was the case. Dekzeh dropping down to the losers bracket. We have had people come through the losers bracket and win. I think it might actually happen 2 out of 3 times actually, which is pretty crazy. So he's down, but he's not out. He's got to go back to the drawing board. He's got to theory craft some new great stuff. This wasn't doing it. Has he considered bringing a Zangoose? These are things that are on the table. Flail Kabutops. I haven't seen that yet. I'm just spitballing here. I'm saying these things win games, and I haven't seen them yet. So, obviously, for me, I'd like to see some Scizor. I think that's a winner. Marowak. These things aren't as crazy, and they win games. So I'm just saying, you're leaving a lot on the table. Maybe bring some real heat. Maybe that's why this didn't go as well as planned. Because you half measures. I remember that speech from Breaking Bad. I'm sure we all do. Where the old guy, Mike Ehrmantraut, he gave that speech. No half measures. He beat the shit out of a guy, but should have killed him. So that anyway, that's my first series. Now on to the celebrating, and then I'll get to the other one later. So you guys will have some more of me, because I'm sure after you listen to this series, you're gonna have a little bit of Jabba the Griffin withdrawal. I don't know if CALLOUS has deleted his channel since the last time. He kind of goes through fits of rage and hard deletes his channel. I think he still has all the CALLOUS Invitational 3 ones up, so you can go through, you can watch my matchups and just listen to my smooth, obnoxious voice for a couple hours, if that's really what you want in this life. All right, so see you on the next one. Godspeed.